Ask anybody why they moved from a big city to a small town, and you'll get a long list of good reasons. And high on that list is safety. Small towns are just safer, right? Everybody knows everybody. Your neighbors have your back, and authority figures like your boss, for instance, they've got your best interests at heart. Sheena Sandifer and her 17-year-old daughter, Valerie Tindall, moved from Indianapolis to a very small town on the outskirts called Arlington. Population 300, give or take a few. They moved because Sheena said they wanted to get away from violence. But violence found them anyway. Yesterday, Valerie's body was found stuffed in a barrel and buried under the rubble in her next-door neighbor's backyard. Valerie had been missing for almost 6 months, since June 7th, and the search had been a daily effort for the police as well as the FBI. But in the end, she was found less than 100 yards from her own back door. And just as shocking, the neighbor now charged with Valerie's murder is 59-year-old Patrick Scott. That's him there. He had also been Valerie's boss in a lawn care business where the teenager was working some extra hours after school. Patrick Scott had been on law enforcement's radar for a bit. He was the last person seen with Valerie the day she disappeared and allegedly couldn't keep his story straight about that encounter. But that only brought him a charge of providing false information to the police, not murder. Not then, anyway. In a bizarre move early on, he also burned down his own garage at 2 o'clock in the morning. And that's where police finally found the barrel, in the ruins of that burned-down garage. They had already searched his property at least one time before, focusing on a pond that was out back, but they came up with nothing. And they wanted to know why Patrick Scott was tracking Valerie's cell phone. He said it was for work, but both Valerie and her mom thought that was weird, understandably. She's 17. I'm joined now by Gigi McKelvey. She is the host of the very popular podcast, Pretty Lies and Alibis. So many red flags, Gigi. So many red flags. Why did it take 6 months to find that body?
Beats me because, you had all the signs there. It seemed everything he didn't do was leave his name scribbled in somewhere at the crime scene. He did everything wrong. You found the barrel under the rubble of garbage. That was burned down at 2 a.m. Who does that? He was the last person seen with her, last seen driving her car. Somebody overheard about him taking her to a special lunch. All these things very odd for a man of that age with a 17-year-old girl.
The whole lunch business, there was a witness that came forward to the police and said on the day that Valerie disappeared, Boss Man, the guy who's been arrested, said that he was going to take her somewhere special to Indianapolis. But then he told police something else entirely. What did he tell them about that special lunch date with the 17-year-old neighbor?
Well, they did meet up apparently in Indianapolis. Then he dropped her off in a nearby town. It's Homer. It's about 5 miles away from Arlington. And then he said she got into a blue car with a mystery man. Why are you letting a 17-year-old go in a car with a mystery man? And then he moved her car. So it makes no sense. It's a terrible alibi. If he has special feelings for this girl, why are you going to let her get in a car with a 17-year-old? It's red flag after red flag, Ashleigh.
Among other things. And then he's just mysteriously then seen driving her car away from an apartment building. Every single piece of this is like you said. He almost just scribbled his name at the murder scene. Gigi, we'll keep an eye on it and see what transpires with this fella. But I don't think Patrick Scott has a lot of freedom in his future. Thanks for being on, as always. Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.